Alright, Walmart. We all know Walmart. In 2000, Walmart agreed to pay $50 million in 2000 to settle a lawsuit alleging that 69,000 former and current Walmart employees in Colorado had been forced to work overtime.
In Missouri in 2004, about 160,000 to 200,000 workers who were forced to work overtime were denied extra pay for it.
Yeah. Workers were not allowed to take rest or lunch break. They just had to work.
Yeah. Walmart also paid $25 million in bribes for establishing market dominance in Mexico.
Yeah. So what this did was that all the local small firms in Mexico were literally trumped down for Walmart to rise up and be the dominant force in Mexico.
Yeah.
In terms of shopping and whatnot.
An investigation was started on this topic, and just when an expansion of this investigation was proposed, the leaders of Walmart literally shut down the investigation. Here you have a tag from a pair of Walmart trousers with Kathy Lee saying that a portion of the proceeds from the sale of this garment will be donated to various children's charities. And this is being said when children are hardly being paid anything for their work, and they're being forced to work overtime without lunch breaks.
And overtime, I mean like more than 14 hours a day.
And not to forget, they sleep, eat and live in the factories.
Yeah.
Now we're going to speak about Foxconn.
Alright, so Foxconn said, "We work hard to give our 1.2 million employees in China a safe and positive working environment."
However, the Foxconn employee says that they use women as men and men as machines. In fact, they use women as men and men as animals. Here we have a video to show you the life of a Foxconn worker.
Here's my iPad.
Believe it or not, this woman's never seen an iPad before, even though she toils more than 60 hours a week making them.
You like it? You like it?
She's like many migrant workers from rural China, spending endless hours putting on screens, but never glimpsing the finished product. Here's another first. This is her only meal at a restaurant since she started at Foxconn, a company that produces electronics for the world's leading brands.
It's very interesting, it's very interesting.
It sure is a change from the factory where she works, sleeps, and eats. She doesn't want to be identified. We'll call her Miss Chen. If she's caught speaking to us, she says she will lose her job.
When we were being trained for work, they told us that if we accept interviews, we will be investigated for criminal responsibility according to law. It's really a big deal.
Miss Chen is one of more than a million workers at Foxconn in China. She works in this factory in the city of Chengdu, installing iPad screens. The company makes the iPads, iPods, and iPhones that has made Apple a commercial and cultural icon. But there are no I-workers here, only we workers. And Miss Chen says we work whenever Foxconn says so.
They use women as men, and they use men as machines. There's another way of saying it. They use women as men, and they use men as animals.
Well, this is the front gate of the Foxconn factory. It's as far as we're going to be able to go. But every day, literally tens of thousands of workers go through these gates. According to the worker that we spoke to, people don't tend to stay very long here. If they have any complaints, the attitude of management is, if you don't like it, you can leave. Only weeks ago, workers threatened mass suicide at the Foxconn factory in Wuhan, manufacturing Microsoft products. Microsoft said in a statement it investigated and found the matter related to staffing assignments, transfer policies, not working conditions. The company noted that it works to ensure employees are treated fairly. Foxconn says it resolved the dispute. But in 2010, the company made unwanted headlines when more than a dozen workers killed themselves, forcing Foxconn to improve its factories. The company tells CNN it boosted pay and provided counselling. Foxconn Foxconn now boasts of its on-site healthcare and worker living conditions, which it claims are among the best in China. Apple's been criticised for its links to overseas factories. It maintains it would not work with companies that do not respect their employees. In a recent email to staff, Apple addressed critics. It says, quote, "We care about every worker in our worldwide chain." Ms. Chen, though, sees it very differently.
Do they care about us?
Do they care
I
about
don't know.
us?
At least I'm not getting any of that care.
Though Foxconn insists its workers are treated fairly and their rights fully protected, workers' rights groups say the company favours only a privileged few, executives, managers. For the many thousands of others, it is run with a military culture. They point to unpredictable hours at the whim of management, complaints of inadequate breaks, workers not even allowed to speak on the factory floor. As we found, they're not too keen to speak outside either. We had to meet Miss Chen at this restaurant. It's a rare outing for her. Foxconn takes up every waking moment.
It's so boring. I can't bear it anymore. Every day was like, I get up from work and I go to bed. I get up in the morning and I go to work. It became my daily routine and I almost felt like I was some kind of animal.
Hers is just one tale, but it's an experience repeated elsewhere by other disgruntled Foxconn employees. She says she will leave soon to go back to college. She has no desire to return here.
When I graduate, I don't want to work in Foxconn.
You don't?
Don't.
But there is always the lure of that iPad.
I like it. I want to have one. You want to have enough money?
Enough money? Right now, Miss Chen says she earns less than $1 an hour. Stan Grant, CNN, Chengdu.
Alright, so after all we've just seen, if this is not exploitation, then what is? Now we're going to speak a bit about Monsanto, which is one of the biggest bioagricultural firms in the US. They introduced Posilac in 1994 to increase milk production from cows.
And this was at a time when the amount of milk in the world was so much. The world really did not need more milk.
And governments were actually paying farmers not to produce milk.
And with the introduction of Posilac, it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Why they needed more milk.
There's no evidence whatsoever of any adverse effects, and we don't use antibiotics, is what they said. But the injection of Posilac injections into cows increased the risk of mastitis by 25%. Mastitis is a disease where the mammary glands swell up. And here is a picture of the mammary glands of the cow which we milk it from. And in bad case of mastitis, it causes pus formation. And this pus goes into our milk. And this is the milk which we consume.
And the bacteria count in the milk multiplies, I don't know by how much.
Yeah.
Because the pus is infected with bacteria.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have a few graphic images and we just want to warn you that they may be very disturbing.
In Vietnam, the American forces used Agent Orange, which was introduced by Monsanto, to attack the people and
destroy their vegetation.
Yeah, it led to a lot of deforestation, or 50,000 birth defects. As you can see, these poor children, all of them innocent, harmed by Agent Orange for no fault of theirs, and a lot of American soldiers were affected too. They could sue Monsanto, and they ended up paying a lot of amount in millions.
To the American soldiers, but not to the Vietnamese people.
Yeah, what about these people who were innocent and, well,
born without eyes, no legs, multiple legs,
yeah,
big heads. Monsanto should not have to vouchsafe the safety of biotech food, said Phil Engel, Monsanto's director of corporate communications.
Our interest is in selling of isn't selling as much of it as possible. Assuring its safety is the FDA's job.
So they don't care about the safety of the product. All they want is to be approved by the FDA and sell as much as possible.
Yeah. They don't care what happens to the people. All they care about is making money, money, and only money.
Well, that is the main objective of a business.
Yeah, but when Monsanto's food was not safe to eat, how did the FDA approve it and carelessly let thousands of innocents be affected?
On January 21st, 2010, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the government may not ban corporations from political spending on elections, a decision that profoundly affects government policy, both domestic and international. So what the U.S. Supreme Court approved was that corporations had no limit on how much they could spend on political parties. Any company could give, I don't know how much they want to give to to a political party.
Yeah. And as you saw, the FDA approved Monsanto's harmful products. Why was this? It was because of the massive political influence they have. They spend a lot of money. And now with the introduction of such laws, it's just bad.
So when you have so much money and you're investing in something, obviously you want something out of it. So they want political changes that help them. And that's why they need the support of the top people in the government. Alright, so from what we saw today, we realized that corporations create a lot of jobs and help people to survive on a day-to-day basis, even though some people may criticize it of being too low by Western standards. And if developing countries cannot properly exploit their natural resources, shouldn't MNCs that have the required amount of technology, resources, and knowledge exploit it for them and take it out for them? And with this, they bring about job creation, the construction of infrastructure, and the bringing in of foreign currency, which all helps the host country. And this is all based on the fact that a corporation is a business, and the objective of a business is to make profit. If people criticize corporations of being putting things without caring for the safety of the people, shouldn't the government be able to regulate these corporations and what they do with their things properly?
It is true that corporations bring in a lot of jobs, foreign currency, and make a lot of money. But again, at what cost? Workers are being exploited to the maximum possible extent. They're being paid wages that are way too less. And even after working for like 14 hours a day and getting those wages, many of them are still below poverty line and cannot even afford 3 meals a day. So the question is, should corporations really just keep making money as they are right now and not care about the poor workers? And also not to forget about the political influence they have. They invest so much money in politics that the government can't really do anything, and what happens is what the corporation want, and it indirectly controls the government.
It's okay, man. Thank you, guys. See you later. Global studies. Jeez.